Okay, folks, good evening. Kind of a little bit of a midweek painting here. About 8:30. I figured, well, let's paint. Let's see if somebody shows up to listen to me ramble and paint. It's all up to you guys to see how long I stay on here. All right. Where we left off is still doing the Panzer II project. And I've got two more Panzer IIs to knock out. These are the S models. These are Panzer II Cs. And they've been base coated in, hey Steven, happy ho ho. These are the S model Panzer II Cs, and they've been base coated and gotten the Agrax Earthshade wash, and then they've been base coated again. So, and same thing with the turrets. And hopefully you're not annoyed by this cough that I have all of a sudden. I picked it up from my wife, and she's had it for quite a bit of time. It sounds a lot worse than it is, because I feel perfectly fine. I think it's allergies or something. But anyhow, yeah, so this is where we're going to pick up off. And I got to remember exactly at what stage they're at. I want to say that I had just put... No, it looks like it's got some of the blue on it. So I'm probably at the point where I need to detail the highlighting stuff. That's probably where I'm at right now. Eastern Front 4142. You got it. I'm just... Let's see, if I'm going to do World War II armor, the earliest I'm ever interested in doing is probably North Africa. Because North Africa starts, when Rommel starts getting his stuff in March 41. And I should say Germans, because I wouldn't mind doing even earlier than that Italians, but if I'm doing Germans, I'm not interested in doing Poland. I'm not interested in doing France or all the Balkans or Norway. Barbarossa's where the real thing's going off at. Anyways. Battle of the bad guys. Okay, so we need some Luftwaffe blue. And dark sand is our other color. I'm going to find where that one is. And that's from a standpoint of modeling things. I don't mind playing a game that's like in France 1940. I just don't want to... I don't want to model Panzer IVs without the little turret thing behind it. It looks weird. They just look really strange. Looks like that one SUV you have and it has no roof rack. It's missing something. Now this is Buff. This is its kissing cousin. Dark Sand. There she is. That is the best period I find interesting. France? Oh, the French vehicles are cool. Poland would be okay, except I'm not painting German tanks with white crosses on them. It just looks stupid. Now, I could just put the black centers on anyways, so. Before 43, it spoils everything. I don't like German vehicles in yellow. I don't. I've painted some. I have some to paint. I will paint some. I just think German vehicles look better in gray. And I'm used to playing, German stuff isn't as good as the Soviets, but their troops are better. Kind of like that whole balance thing. And, obviously generalizations. Actually, one of my favorite eras to do is Wintergewitter, and that is the relief. I'm not a big Stalingrad fan, never have been, but the relief to Stalingrad I've always found fascinating. I don't know why. The snow is just, it's like another planet for me, considering I don't live somewhere there's any snow, so. But I'm on my third book of the Eastern Front that I'm doing on Audible, and I'm learning new shit. I'm learning stuff I never focused on. Mainly, and it's kind of interesting because it's the stuff that I grew up knowing. It's kind of turning everything on its head, and book on Kiev, and this one's basically the retreat from Moscow. Then we'll start getting into the 42 books and. Anyhow, Eastern Front is what you prefer. Yep. Which bad guy you want to be? Which bad guy do you want to be? Let me get some of this. Man, the other morning I got on here like nobody showed up, and I'm like, okay, I can't take this anymore. I was bored. I was absolutely bored. I'm really enjoying this World War II business. I really am. I've messed with this stuff in 20 years. And I came back when there's so much new source material that's available now. And that's all we used to do. All we used to do in the 80s and all the way, I'd say, through like 2002. All I used to do was World War II. That's it. Mr. Kevin, welcome. Guderian. I honestly don't know much about him, but but I have learned a lot about him recently, and he seems like he was a very difficult person to get along with. He's kind of a prima donna, but I always thought the Eastern Front was fascinating. And the main thing that I'm learning now is when we were kids, we're like kids, young adults, like okay, well the Germans could have won. All they had to do was be nice to the people that they captured, right? And because I mean everybody knows that the Soviets treated all the people in the Ukraine like pieces of shit. Wouldn't take much for them to come over. The problem is we're looking at that from a logical standpoint. And the Nazis weren't logical. They're fighting a war of extermination. So it it would never occur to them to let the Ukrainians help them because they're not worthy. They're subhuman as well. So it's hard to look at things as from a racist standpoint when you're not a racist. You saw two of my World War II aircraft had a near-air collision 2 weeks ago. Sad that all the crews died trying to let the crowds see planes from histories. Two of my World War II aircraft. I didn't know they were mine. Yeah, I saw that from multiple angles. And I've been wanting to take my daughter do an air show for a long time, but I just want to see warbirds fly around, right? I don't need to see, near crashes. And honestly, they weren't doing anything that was, I would call crazy, other than it just was unrehearsed. And that just proves how much rehearsal you really need to do when it was going on. I don't want to see, stunts and shit like that. I don't need to see crap like that. Now, luckily, it wasn't even over the crowd when that happened. But yeah, a P-63 and a B-17. I remember like 20 years ago, they had a B-17 and a Heinkel 111 that flew into our local airport. And it was going to be like at lunchtime. So I took over at lunchtime, and it was creepy seeing a swastika that big. Because the swastika on the tail is probably, I don't know, 3 foot by 3 foot. I'm not flying in a plane with a swastika. I'm just saying, that's just bad. That's just bad vibes. Nothing good can come from that. I don't have a problem putting swastikas on my little toys and shit like that, but I'm not flying in a bird that has a swastika on it. That's just asking for bad things to happen to you. And sure enough, a little while later, that plane ended up crashing. I think taking everybody with them. I was surprised there was 5 people in the B-17. But I don't know if in that situation, I know that there are air shows I've been to where you can actually pay to ride in a B-17. Now, I'm not a fan of flight. I don't mind things flying, but I don't really want to be in one. I'm more of a seaborne person. I like getting on ships and things like that. I'm terrified of turbulence and stuff like that. Anyhow, so you wouldn't catch me on that, but they were doing that for a long time. I know several people that paid to go on a inside of a B-17. I think it would just be all super rattly. Loved his mass encirclement of Ukrainian steppes. No Guderian did not put up with fools. Seen Spitfires, Hurricanes, and Lancasters flying in the UK on the way to Edinburgh for a fly past. I'm a big fan of Spitfires. Beautiful aircraft. Beautiful aircraft. My favorite U.S. aircraft is a Warhawk, actually. First model I ever built. I was like 10 years old or something like that. I liked the Tiger Shark mouth. It was cool. Actually, I think I read somewhere recently that the first people to put them on were actually the Brits in North Africa. And they got the idea from some ME-110 destroyers. I did not know that. It may not be true, but I read it recently, and I'm like, I guess I have seen ME-110s with Tiger Shark mounts, but I didn't think that was the catalyst for it all. Book could be wrong, but that was my favorite U.S. plane because of that, and it was the first model I built. I don't necessarily go for what the most popular one is or so forth. Yeah, so hey Nordic, how you doing? I sound like I'm terrible, but I'm great. I think it's something allergies, so it's just gonna go away on its own. Just got a really bad cough from time to time. and not really sure. I'm sure it'll go away. I remember like 3 or 4 years ago, I ended up getting, might have been longer that, a cough for like 3 months. Just wouldn't go away. Oh well. Other than that, I'm great. But yeah, getting back to the Eastern Front. So as a kid, I was like, okay, Germans didn't win because they didn't befriend the Ukrainians. And now I'm reading, no, they would have never done that because it was a war of extermination. It never would have occurred to them. It would be, wasn't in their playbook. And I'm talking about, the people from the top down. I'm sure that the common soldiers that are stuck in it would probably be like, hey, why aren't we doing this? Maybe not all of them, but I'm sure some of them. But then I'm reading these books, and it's like, okay, then people say, oh, they didn't have enough fuel. Man, it's not only that; it's logistics. They had stuff that broke down. They just didn't have spare parts. You know, they had. I mean, the Wehrmacht is, I think, really interesting for those of us that build things. One of the main things is because they have such a variety of different units. But that's one of the problems. Is like, okay, they've got trucks and captured trucks from everybody else, and if you capture, like, they were a big fan of capturing Russian trucks. But if you capture Russian trucks, what do you need to capture? Now you got to capture diesel, because they don't run on gas. I would imagine they don't run on gas because their tanks don't. They run on diesel. So now you have to have two different fuel sources. The Russian rail, if you captured it, is a different gauge than the German rail. So now you got two different rail. I mean, it's just a logistics nightmare. That, and you're operating so far from base. It's a good thing they didn't win. I mean, I'm not a big fan of communists, but we know how the world turned out with the Russians winning. So I'm pretty sure the world would be a lot worse with the Third Reich being victorious on the Eastern Front. Pretty much guarantee that one. So let's just be happy the way it turned out. But but that is one thing that makes the Wehrmacht very interesting, is they've got all kinds of different vehicles. But it's also the problem with supply and stuff. Spare parts and all kinds of stuff. You enjoy the ground displays. You're a fan of U.S. World War II Navy aircraft, such as the Hellcat. Everybody has their favorite. I prefer, aesthetically, I prefer inline engine aircraft. I just do. I just think they look better. Didn't say they were more effective. Just say they look better. The Hellcat was an extremely effective plane. Not a fan of it. It came out too late from the standpoint. Like, I don't mind the Pacific, and I've done a fair amount of Pacific play up through Guadalcanal, so it's like after that period, and I don't like that whole gloss blue type look to it. But it was an extremely effective aircraft. Um, your favorite World War II aircraft is the Lightnings. Think they look aggressive and fantastic performance. Getting over the flu myself. I didn't say I had the flu. I probably had the same thing that. So I haven't really felt bad at all. You're going to start building your 1/48 scale ICM HE111 H16. Okay, that's the one with the torpedoes, right? Let's see if I got it right. But discovered instrument panels or decals and clear parts, and I don't like that. Going to shelve it until the photo etch upgrades. Painted all the 6mm French Napoleonic Wars infantry I got. They paint up fast, but honestly, I will tell you, I won't do any other area in 6mm. Just too small. I've seen quite a few things recently, Napoleonics in 6mm, and they look great because you can put them like in formations and stuff like that. I just wouldn't want to have to get the goop in between the legs and stuff. That just seems extremely finicky. The goop part, but the rest of it, I think they look great in 6mm. No torpedoes. The H16 doesn't have the torpedoes? I'm losing my mind. One of them that was based in Norway had torpedoes strapped on each side, like. And as a naval war gamer, yeah, that's what you want. You want to send those guys up against a convoy or shit like that. Like, well, you got aircraft that carry 2 torpedoes. Nice. I've only done one thing with photo etch, and I loved it. The photo etch parts on that Panzer IIIJ. The only thing I don't like about photo etch is I'm not a fan of super glue because of how brittle it is. And it's a little too small to use epoxy. So I gotta use super glue and, and stay humble. Eye strain is bad for me on 6mm. It's not worth it. Which is the version of the Heinkel that had the torpedoes on it? I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm telling you, of all the 3 theaters, the land, air, and sea, the one I know the least about in World War II is air. I mean, easily air. I'm not, I've played very few air games. That's why. Heinkel HE111. Maybe it's the H6. Maybe the 6 is what caught my attention. H16 had a flying bomb. Okay. Entered production in late 42. Maybe I'm going at this wrong. HE111 with torpedo bomber. H6. That's what it is. So I caught on the 6. When you said 16, I just thought that's what it was. H6. I remember that useless information like that. H22 carried the buzz bomb. Somebody posted a video which supposedly has the sound of a buzz bomb. I had no idea they sounded like that. What a weird sounding thing. What a strange sounding thing. There will be no painting this weekend coming up. I will be out of town. So you've been warned. Enjoy your honeydews. If you have any. If you're forced to do some. Yeah, like 2 days ago, I wasn't coughing at all. And then yesterday, I was cough like maybe once every 30 minutes. And today, it just picked up pace. Yeah, whatever. It'll go away. It seems like every time that the temperature changes or something, I'm like susceptible to either having a headache or something. I don't know. That used to not never happen to me. It's always something. All right, let's get some of these corners and panel lines and stuff like that on here. It's one of the few German tanks I don't mind without having a little turret overhang is these Panzer IIs. The only one that has the turret overhang of the Panzer IIs is the F. The little basket in the back, the storage thing on the back of the turret. But the threes and fours, they just look weird. They look weird without that. Looks even weirder is the Panzer crews have that silly ass beret. Like they're like like a racist bread maker. His engine was a pulse jet. That's why it's weird. It's really, really weird. H5 also a torpedo carrier. Yeah, as a naval wargamer, I'm telling you, you get aircraft come out of Norway and they're each carrying two torpedoes. Now, sure, they're sitting ducks, but you know, two torpedoes each. That's mean. Well, I've been pretty happy with how my vehicles have turned out. Like I said, it was kind of a. I had to kind of try to find my own style because I didn't want to go the uber realistic with paint chips and, take me 27 hours to paint each vehicle. I didn't want to just throw them together either. It's kind of a happy medium between the two. Pulse jet. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a pulse jet. How many more do I have to paint? Panzer IIs? These two. Total tanks? 100. More or less. I'm not getting tired of it, though. I'm in no hurry to go back to painting 15s. How's the rest of the guys doing? Well, we played a Star Wars game over Thanksgiving holiday. Tuesdays just haven't worked for me. They play all kinds of stuff. When I go on Tuesdays to play, Monday is Mitch's Saturday, and Tuesdays is Sunday equivalent. So on his Saturday, his retired friend comes over and they'll either play Napoleonics or Rapid Fire. I know he's working on some Rapid Fire stuff. And by the time everybody else shows over, also people that work for a living on that day, he's gone. So there's no chance of playing that. And he lives kind of out in the sticks. So he doesn't want to drive, like at 10 o'clock at night. I don't blame him. But we're basically playing on his Saturday. So it just seems to be that Mondays are extremely busy for me all of a sudden. It's ironic because, like, every day will be light except the Monday. The Monday's just insanely busy. And I get my gaming fix playing computer games if I need to, I'm not too worried about it. I know one day I went over there and I was out there till almost after midnight. That's just a nightmare to only get 4 hours of sleep at the beginning of the work week. That'll throw me all off. So, but they play all kinds of stuff. You're not doing these projects as far as miniature goes. I'm just painting what I have in house. Because in 10 millimeter World War II, they may have to wait. Yeah, figure it out as you go. I don't ever want to be rushed again for any project. F it. It'll get done when it gets done. I'll mess with some vehicle rules when I get enough vehicles of both sides done. Right now, I'm just enjoying doing what I'm doing. I do have a couple of... I did do an impulse buy. And ordered a couple mats from Tiny War Games UK. Because they were offering 20% discount. That's not why. They were offering free shipping. That's why. Because their mats run about $35 a piece or so. I'm talking 4x6. And the shipping's $35 each. So I ended up getting two mats, a green one and a desert one, for less than $70 shipped. So we'll see. Hopefully I don't hate them, but I think a small risk to take. And those are the ones that were on sale. So, the desert one, of course, that means, North Africa. But I don't have any North African vehicles yet. I have no North African infantry or North African scenarios, so maybe in the future. I do love that. I do love that theater, and you know, I can make my own scenarios, but it's nice to kind of play something that's already designed by somebody else and seems to be a, you know, fair or whatever. But yeah, I could see having a bunch of honeys running across the board, kicking up dust. You know, that could be fun. But if I did do Africa Core, I don't think I'd paint him. I don't think I would paint him tan to begin with. I'd paint him gray and then just super slop, not slop paint, but heavy weather them. That way it still has some of the gray showing underneath. Because otherwise you got tan vehicles for the Germans and tan vehicles for the Brits. And yes, it's not the same tan, but, you know, nah. Hoffman Samatomen. Rommel. No, I think you could do North Africa if you did like stuff in poor lighting conditions or a sandstorm or do stuff that involves, you know, taking out a anti-tank position. Not a big Rommel fan. I don't know why. I think he just took too many risks. But that doesn't mean I thought he was a piece of shit. Well, if he was a Nazi, he was a piece of shit. But, you know, I mean, just as a tactician. But as far as painting in Panzer Gray, man, I got a lot of stuff to do. I got these two guys to do. I got about 3 half tracks, 3 trucks, a Panzer 1. At least 2 more Panzer 3 longs are going to be in gray. The F2. What else? I got a Czech 38. I got a Panzer. I got a Martyr 2 with the. I got two martyrs with the Russian gun. One of them is on the Czech 38 bottom, which is, I guess, technically a Martyr 3. And the Martyr 2, that's the super ugly one, I've got one of those as well, which I'm going to have to kit bash some pieces because I lost them. But they're like the part that goes underneath it that kind of holds the gun up. It's kind of a precarious way, the way that thing is, the assembly of that gun is anyway. So we should be able to do it with plastic hard and it'll be just fine. It's an MMS model. I'm missing some of the pieces. That's one of the ugliest vehicles ever. Is that Martyr 2. That the bottom of it is the chassis based on the Panzer 2D, I think is what it is. I think they used those in they used a few of them in Poland, and then they retired them from service, and they either got converted to Flamingos, so Flampanzer 2s, or used as the bottom holes for that vehicle. So they got one of those. What else do I have in Panzer Gray? That may be it. I don't think we're going to do all that stuff before we switch back to the Soviets. I want to get some Czech 38s. I'm not in a huge hurry to buy new stuff when I got plenty of stuff to work on. I'd like some Czech 38s and some T26s, BT5s and 7s. I've been playing that Gates of Hell Ostfront a little bit every day. And I'd like to say that I'm getting good at it, but it's a challenging freaking game. Just when you're getting good and you got this little core force that's kicking ass, you play this one mission that gets your ass killed. So I guess that's a good thing. It just kind of keeps you challenging. Is Bacchus compatible with Heroics and Ross? Or are they just... Or is the Bacchus figures too big for the other ones? I think Bacchus are a little on the large size. Noble Knight. They seem to be like the new Brookhurst hobbies. I remember in the early 2000s, Brookhurst hobbies were the ones that carried everything. They were an importer of so many things. And I guess maybe they were just never as big as Noble Knight. Noble Knight has a really big footprint because they buy and sell old stuff too, so. Size chart, yeah. All right, one of these turrets is going to be the one for this one. Might as well make it this one here. You got your first army from Brookhurst. Too many people to buy Christmas presents for. Can't afford to buy for myself. Zyston. Well, I got something last year that was kind of a pain in the ass. It's like the right gift for me, but it was the wrong gift for me. I got a Visa gift card. The problem with a Visa gift card is you can't use it to buy stuff online very easily. It's a pain in the ass. Doesn't work really well. So I was never able to use it for what I wanted to use it for. But fortunately, I don't need anything. I'll buy stuff when I need it. I have pretty good self-control. Better than most. And that's not saying a whole lot, but it's true. Companies bank off those Visa cards. Well, maybe if you call it in, but there's not a way to enter it. There's not a way to enter this shit on there. It's a pain in the ass. So I'd much rather have like an Amazon gift card, because odds are I'm going to get it through Amazon anyways. Almost always. But they do those gift cards because what they want to do is they want you to forget you have them. And that's what I heard one time is why they do rebates. They do rebates because they're giving you money back, but there's apparently a high percentage of people that just forget to do the rebate. And I believe it. Or returns on stuff. You think you're going to order stuff from AliExpress. Hello, China. Their shipping conditions seem really, really weird. I don't know. These are Chinese. These S models is like the best models I've ever built. I'm 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 totally impressed. These things went together better than anything I've ever seen before. There's a lot of stuff at AliExpress. A lot. I got really good service from the people that I ordered this stuff from, and it's a eBay seller called. They're in California, but they might just be like a forwarder or something. No, S Model is Chinese brand. Let me tell you what the name of this eBay seller. They were really, really good. And they said it was going to take a certain amount of time, and it took a lot less. So I'm always a fan of that. Don't tell me something's going to get here in a week and it ends up being three. Tell me it's going to be 3 months and it gets here in a month. I'm good with that. What is the name of this? Well, if you just do a search for S Model, this will come up. It's a place in California. Even though it says from China that it's shipping. Nope, that's not the one. That must be a different one. I will definitely be buying from them again. Let me see if I can find who they are. X Free Hobby. The letter X, free altogether, dash hobby. And they actually have a really high rating and 100% positive feedback. And I have nothing bad to say about them. When I ordered it, they said it was not gonna deliver until between November 14th and December 14th or December 28th or something like that. I got it before November 14th. I actually got it in like 2 weeks. Now, it might have been one of those things that they sent it and it made it on the next ship or whatever. They just leave a big window like that in case they miss a sailing or something like that. I'm not sure how that works, but I was really happy with it. And the quality is incredible. Just really, really incredible. The only thing I don't like about these S model things is the Crusaders. They make a Crusader, which is awesome, but it doesn't have an option for open hatches. That sucks. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Just about all their stuff could be open or closed hatch. Found some good Chinese modeling stuff before. I just hate sending my money over there. Yeah, I agree. Well, you can always think of it as, you do it as a last resort. Look at all the other options and see if you don't have another option. And then, maybe you can think it's going to some people that are over there that do want freedom. And maybe you're helping them out in some small way. I don't know. There's folks out there that are definitely stuck in a bad situation. Like all the people that were in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was a friendly place. And then, went back to them. But these are incredible. These go together better than anything I've ever seen. Even better than Tamiya kit. Whatever happened with the protests? Weren't they having some protests recently about the COVID thing and wanting everybody to hide under their bed, or who knows what it is? I don't really pay attention to news, so if I hear about it, it's must have been a big to-do because I don't go and actively seek that stuff. I saw they were going to put tanks in the street or some shit like that. If I want certain TACOM kits, I may have to break down and buy them direct from China, and I really don't want to. You know what's really hard to find? You know what's really hard to find? And I'm surprised that it's hard to find. When I used to work at a hobby store in the early 90s, you'd get these catalogs from Hasegawa or Fujimi or Tamiya or, DML. Anyway, and you could flip through, what kits they make, what's coming new in the next year, right? Real easy to go. Because those companies don't sell direct to the public, I'm guessing, you can't go to their website and find like a good list of what they make and what they don't make. I'm surprised. I really am surprised. They locked a huge building that was on fire, trapping the people inside, and claimed only 10 died. Still protesting. Well, I'm convinced there's a tie-in between the COVID thing and the protesters because all that shit went down the same time that all those Hong Kong protests. Remember those Hong Kong protesters were protesting? It was like 1.5 million people protesting. Like, well, how do we get rid of these people? Well, we can't just gun them down, because the whole world might turn against us. Maybe. I don't know. They got so many people in their pocket that I doubt it. But so, oh, you got to get inside. It's for your own good. I'm convinced that's what it is. I mean, there's obviously some kind of a flu, anyways. I think that was the whole. There's no doubt that that's something to do using for crowd control. It just makes sense. The odds of it happening exactly at the same time is awfully suspicious. So the best site I've been able to find, at least for the 1/72nd scale stuff, is there's one guy called Henk of Holland or something like that. And he has a website that literally lists like all the and I'm sure he's missing some stuff because the new things keep coming up, but all the manufacturers who make plastic kits, all in 72nd scale, and I think 76 as well. Ones who make resin conversions, ones who make easy build ones. I mean, it's definitely a passion of love that they've put into populating that website, and it's a very basic website from the standpoint of graphics and stuff. And then you can click on it, and there'll be like different pictures of, okay, here's the kit for the Panzer IV-H from so and so, and it'll show you maybe some of the sprues or one of them built, or so. You could spend a long time there, looking and seeing, who makes the stuff for that. It's really pretty amazing that somebody's put a whole lot of effort into that. But you can't just go to DML.com and go and see everything that they make. I'm surprised, or maybe I'm just not holding my mouth right. But I'm pretty good at surfing stuff, and I have not found it easy to see who makes what. The similar website for Godzilla kits, they're really helpful. Godzilla. Really? There's like a lot of... What scale is Godzilla normally in? I mean, what's the popular scale for it? 1/700? I'd think that'd probably be a good scale. You go on the same scale as all the ships, bash them or whatever. Speaking of ships, what did I come across the other day that floored me? Oh yeah, the Repulse. The Repulse and the Prince of Wales, right? They were sunk like on December 11th, 1941, Force Z, by Japanese land-based aircraft. And I mean, it's in like really shallow water. And really shallow water to me is if you have a ship sunk in water, right? And if you took the length of the ship and stood it up, and it would be taller than the water is deep, that's pretty shallow. So in other words, if you've got a battleship that's under 600 or 700 feet of water, that's pretty freaking shallow. And I think it's like in 300 feet of water or something like that. Like, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing that they haven't gone down in there and, discovered all that. Monogram was your favorite. Monogram was probably the first one I built that P40 in. I'm pretty sure it was a snap kit. 1/72nd scale snap kit. I am. I was always partial, just like cars. I was always partial to the Japanese. I was always partial to the Japanese kids. So 1/35th scale, Tamiya all the way. Just like cars. Definitely partial to Japanese cars. A little bit more on this one. Monogram. I like Monogram more than Revell. Of the US brands, I like Monogram probably the best. And I'm sure there's other US brands now, I can't think of it, but Monogram, Revell, Lindbergh, remember those things? God, Lindbergh and their stupid scales. We're going to build this on 1/43rd. You're partial to Japanese women. Nah, just model kits and cars for me. Ah, stupid cough. I had one like 5 or 6 years ago. I swear it lasted for 3 freaking months. It was just annoying, and it was a lot drier than this one. Oh well. I'll tell you what I really dislike about the Japanese, though. Not being racist, I'm just telling it like it is. They have the potential to make so many cool movies about their history, and they don't do it. They absolutely don't do it. I mean, there's so much cool samurai stuff they could do, and it's like, they make movies about, schoolgirls and zombies and shit like that. I guess. I mean, I scroll through. I'm like, I'm not interested about that. No, 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 no. I mean, they have a rich history. They don't use that. I mean, it's wasteful. You got a Japanese made ME 110 and 148th. My favorite Japanese plane, the Tony. Duh. No, it has an inline engine. I like how it looks. It is basically a shitty Messerschmitt. Battlefield Baseball. No entiendo. Japan has some cool samurai movies. I'm just not into the time period. I don't know. All the ones that I've seen are, I haven't been impressed with. Ron, it's basically the storyline of King Lear. I mean, really? There's some cool. There's some cool like background, stories that the whole world should know about, not just some Shakespearean crap in Japanese armor. As I like to say, lots of people died for this stuff. People should at least know about it. Not saying you need to glorify things, but, you know. Hey, history for me has always been about learning, so maybe other people don't want to learn. Good historical drama docs on a channel called NHK. That sounds like it might be a Korean, and the Koreans go crazy on the historical stuff. Although most of it is really of a later period that I'm really interested in, but I'll trade you temps. It's 30 degrees here, down in the 20s with wind chill. What's the temp there? It hasn't been too bad the last couple days, but it sucks. 57. It sucks because I work with a bunch of candy asses that turn the freaking heater on. So, like, the other morning it was like 60, and they had the heater on. And I hate the heater. I might even have this cough because of the heater. Heater should just be illegal in Florida. Not that I'm a fan of things being illegal, but I'm just saying, you know. I don't mind the cold weather. I just don't want it being dry, and I don't want to shovel any of it. Ron had lots of blood. I didn't care for it. It annoyed me that I'd watch it again, but it annoyed me that it was like, okay, these guys are all red, these guys are all orange, these guys are all yellow. It was like a little too like I didn't learn much from it, you know? And it was make believe. Like, tell me the story of a real daimyo, you know? I mean, they had enough of them. Oh, well, I don't want just entertainment. So, speaking of entertainment, I attempted to watch Fury again. I saw it in the movie theater with Mitch, and I remember liking it, other than the last scene, or towards the end of the scene. And I found it unwatchable. I was like, hey, I'll watch it with my daughter. So I'm like, hey, let's watch a war movie, because she's my war movie buddy. Halfway or 2/3 of the way through the movie, I'm like, let's not watch this anymore. This is just trash. Best part of the movie was the wrecks that they did. You know, they did a good job with like the wrecks and the tanks and shit like that, but storyline was just garbage. I was surprised. I was surprised that I go back and watch something and like that, and I thought I'd left a good taste in my mouth, and then it didn't. They have some good movies on Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga. Which movie? You're saying which World War II movie? Fury. Hated it. Hated it the second time around. Not watchable. What happened with the coffee? What time is it? Oh, I better not have any more. Let me go get some water. I'll be right back. I don't have to pause the telephone. I don't have to pause the microphone because the girls aren't here. Be right back. It's amazing how you'll watch something a long time ago and you'll have one impression of it. And then you watch it again and it's like, it could change dramatically. Now, one that didn't is a movie I saw twice in the movie theater and I really liked it. And I watched it again recently and I still thought it was a solid movie as Misery. I thought it was excellent. And the best thing is I forgot a lot of the details. So it almost made like a half a new movie. Most of the time, you'll watch something, you'll have some impression as a kid or something like that. And then an adult, you'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, I remember I was like 10 or 11 years old and I got fooled into watching the first Halloween movie. I remember being scared shitless. All I remember is that guy getting stuck to the freaking door with a freaking knife. And I watched it again. You know, I was like worried for something because I don't watch horror shit. And after watching, I'm like, really? This? I gotta remember I was 10 years old, so. Nippon Hoso Kyokai. Oh, I didn't. So one of the things that made Fury really bad is everybody that was in it was famous. I don't, I prefer movies like, that have people you don't know in them. And then just like, I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care if anything happened to them, you know. Missouri. I also didn't remember that the movie took place basically in like the last days of the war. Literally, like the last days of the war. I don't remember that. Did you all watch the World War II movie All Quiet on the Western Front? Read the book as a kid? Never seen the old movie or the new one. I've never seen the black and white one. I saw the one from the 70s, which I didn't like. And the new one it's good in a lot of parts. It's worth watching once. I don't know if I'd want to watch it a second time. It's it's very graphic, as I think war movies should be. They shouldn't glorify a war. They should just show that it's utter hell, and it pretty much was. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. What I didn't like about the movie was that The guy went from basically being afraid to going into blood rage to like calming right back down to being afraid. Like, I don't know, it just seemed a little too. I'm not saying somebody can't switch into one thing or the other. I just think that he switched over too quick. And I didn't like that it was done like at the very last minute. Again, it was just kind of like you're trying to fool the audience a little too much. Like it just seemed unbelievable. But the special effects, and it definitely did. I'd say more than any other movie I remember seeing, it really showed that war was hell. So I think that it did that part really, really well. Your favorite war movie is Casablanca. I've seen it one time, even though it's black and white. Not a Bogart fan. Although two of the black and white movies I've seen are Bogart movies. The other one being Maltese Falcon. And I actually remember liking that movie. I think maybe if I watched it again, I wouldn't like it, but I remember liking that movie. But so I got a chance to see something, another thing that scarred me as a kid, and this is a show that was on in the early '80s, and I remember watching it as a kid. And this whole show didn't scar me. It was this particular episode, and I realized somebody had actually put the entire season. There's only one season of the show on YouTube, and you can watch it for free. And it's very dated and it's kind of dorky, and it's called Tales of the Gold Monkey, and it's like a Indiana Jones ish kind of thing, and it's but the first episode. There's this one episode where these people in like ape suits and they just like go after people, and I remember I was probably 11 when I watched it or whatever. It was pretty disturbing. I'm not a fan of of animals attacking people. Um, I don't know. I remember bothering. So I was like, I watched that. I didn't realize it was. Oh, it's in the trailer. I thought it was just like one of the episodes or whatever. And and I'm like, oh, okay. I can see why that kind of had that effect on me. But it's anyhow, just kind of a moment of nostalgia. I saw what 3 episodes of it, and again I went on. Oh, look, something shiny. I forget to watch things on TV. I'm not. I'd much rather play a video game or paint or. I'm not a big watcher of TV, but I remember when that was on in '82 or something like that. Yeah, I would have been like 11 years old. I didn't like that. Didn't it? Maybe it's a mask thing. I don't do well with things with masks. The thing that scared me as a kid and still kind of freaks me out is the thing on the formal board. At Bridge Too Far. I watched Bridge Too Far in the last couple of years ago, and I was disappointed. I was disappointed. Again, it's just like cameo hell. And half the actors I like, and half the actors I don't care if I never saw them in something ever again. You know. I don't think I've seen a black and white Godzilla movie. Kojira! The Thing on the Formal Board. Not the Thing movie, right? The Thing on the... What the hell is that? All right. I want to not... It's interesting to see what things freak people out. The The thing on the forble board. I don't even know what the hell a forble board is. Let's see. Let's see what we're dealing with here. The Thing. I remember I saw the movie The Thing, and that's not what I thought on. The Thing on the forble board. What am I getting into? Oh, it's a black and white thing? Maybe I'll have to watch that. 24-minute horror broadcast. Maybe I won't watch that tonight. I don't believe in none of that crap. So I don't like these things putting this BS in your head, and then you can't walk through a room that's dark and stuff like that. You know? The Thing on the forble board, 1948. All right, we'll have to check that out. I remember as a kid they had this one little, well, this would have been 1980. They had this one little area in fourth grade where you could sit there and listen to things with headphones, and they had short stories and stuff like that. It's good. Okay, I'll definitely check it out. I'm gonna write it down because I'm not gonna check it out tonight. Because did you just listen to the radio show, or did you listen to the one that has like? Because it looks like it's actually like a little mini movie. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. But I don't like things putting ideas in my head. My wife's not here to protect me. I don't like listening to things that, like, I can watch all the violent stuff in the world. I get freaked out by things that can't be killed with fire, that they get more powerful with fire, you know? Like demonic shit? No. I'm not watching demonic stuff. This isn't demonic, I hope. The Thing on the... How the hell do you spell that? Forble board. Okay, we will check that out. So, we had a little listening station, short stories, and they had I can't remember what his name is now. Mask of the Red Death. By, that American horror guy from the early 1800s. Can't think of what his name is. And it was just being read to you. And it freaked me the hell out, I can't believe I can't think of what his name is. Anyways, it's like the only American literature that I can stand. I don't like classic literature. I love reading books, but, I'm not interested in, the stuff that they assign you in the... But I remember that Mask of the Red Death, man, that freaked me the hell out because it had, like, sound effects and shit like that. And it might have been narrated by Vincent Price. I remember many, many years later, I watched the movie. I didn't even know there was a movie on that. And I'm like, well, this is hokey. The story was a hell of a lot scarier than the movie was. Edgar Allan Poe, yes. I don't know how the hell I forgot his name. But, yeah, Mask of the Red Death. That freaked me out as I'm 9 years old, And I didn't grow up watching horror stuff. I know several people, though, that have this weird combination of they won't go on roller coasters, but they'll watch horror movies. I'm like, no. I don't watch horror. Now, I like stuff like Misery. I wouldn't call that a horror movie. I call that thriller. That's like a modern Hitchcock kind of stuff. I like all that stuff. I just don't like supernatural shit. I'm not gonna demon possession stuff or worse. You know, and I'm not watching that crap. Like I said, you can't kill that stuff with fire. Battleship Potemkin is a good silent film, but most people aren't into those. Battleship Potemkin. Isn't that a commie film? Like, what's the one where I'm losing my mind. Um, the one with the Teutonic Knights, same period. It's done like in the 20s or something like that. You won't go on roller coasters, but will watch 100 horror movies. Wow, I love roller coasters. I don't like going on planes, and I love horror roller coasters. I really do like horror roller coasters, and I'm scared of heights. I'm uneasy with heights. Let's put it that way. What's your favorite horror movie? Hammer Films did the old Dracula film with Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Have a movie called Quartermaster in the Pit 2. I'm going roller coasters this weekend, as a matter of fact. That's the plan, anyways. Um, yeah, I don't do masks well. Give you an example. A movie I've never seen, and I've heard it's not. I've read the synopsis of the movie. It's not supposed to be a scary movie, but every single time I see the cover of the movie, I get a chill that goes down my spine. And Donnie Darko, that freaking rabbit. I can't do that. I can't do a possessed rabbit type creep. You know, can't do it. Well, we all have our things. That'll be my homework assignment for lunchtime tomorrow. Is watch that this thing. News Donnie Darko. Yeah, I can't do that, man. And it's not supposed to be a scary movie. I understand, but I don't do well with that. Now the funny thing is I did do a Hallow Scream with my brother. I hadn't been to one of those things since probably 1993. And just because I haven't gone to it, not that I had a bad experience, and and I didn't get scared by any of that stuff, But they want to startle you, and the whole time you're going through that house, I'm like, I'm looking for them, and they don't want to scare me. You know, I'm paying attention. Need to get going. Got something due at midnight. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Yes, I'm painting, Joe. Painting with this annoying cough. That makes me sound like I'm on my deathbed, but nothing other than that. My wife had it, so wonder who gave it to me. Oh, well. Quartermass in the pit. Okay. You know, one movie that pretty much everybody agrees is black and white and is awesome, and I've never seen it because it's black and white, is Seven Samurai. And I probably should just go and watch it one day, you know. Or maybe people built it up so much I'll go to watch it and be like, this crap? But everybody pretty much uniformly says that that's a good one. I haven't seen it because it's black and white. Now, unlike black and white movies, I actually prefer foreign movies because they almost always have people you don't know who they are. I don't mean foreign movies like, you know, England. England and the US is the same freaking thing. That's not a foreign movie. I'm actually a fan of foreign movies that put subtitles on anyways, so. Yeah. I don't think I'll be watching either one of these two things tonight though. That's no good. Nothing good can come from that. All right, I got to use the restroom. I just can't take it anymore. I'll be right back. I don't think they will ever colorize Seven Samurai. I don't know why. The idea of watching a samurai movie that is supposed to be colorful, right? Because those guys wore colorful garb. And it being wasted because it's black and white is just moronic. Um, you know. Oh well. Okay, Nordic. Have a good night. What time is it? I'll be happy if I can get this other tank to the same level that other one is, which shouldn't be too hard to do because I'm almost there. I take it I can probably watch this stuff on YouTube, right? I bet I can. Huh. Man, I got a lot of Soviet vehicles to do. And they make a lot of Soviet decals, and some of them just look sloppy as shit, but other than those petting house decals, I've been pretty much happy with all of them because they're just so damn thick. And it was all like, I've never seen decals where the entire sheet is one decal and you just cut out the part you want. It's like, that's just lazy. I'd never before seen that. Very, very strange. Man, the cough that just won't quit. This is the one that actually the machine gun broke off. I'm gonna have to drill this thing out and put it just a piece of sprue. That kind of stinks, but nothing I can't deal with. Doc says your cough could last a couple weeks. Yep. My wife's had a cough for about 2 weeks. And the one I had many years ago, I swear it lasted like 3 months. I don't know, something in the environment irritating it. Who knows? I got one guy that I work with that has an extremely harsh cough that just won't go away. It's just something that's just in his DNA or whatever. And I'm pretty sure death's going to cure it, but short of that, he's had it for a long time, so I guess I'm just glad not to be that. But this cough sounds like it would be really, really dry, like I'd be thirsty, but it isn't. It just sounds that way. It's weird. Oh well. Shit happens. He's got me on this stuff called benzonatate. 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 Doc's got me on some drugs. You got this new thing now. I guess it's been out for a little while called televisits, where you go and you talk to your doctor on your phone, which sounds great, except it costs just as much as going in person. And it kind of pissed me off because of that. And then I realized, you know what? I don't mind, because one of the worst things about going to the doctor is taking time off work to do it. And they're notoriously late all the time. They always run late. Unlike the dentist, unlike the hair people, chiropractor, the MDs consistently run late. And it's difficult for those of us that work, especially if you work at a place where, if you leave for the shortest amount of time, man, the lemmings will just screw everything up while you're gone. So I don't mind it so much. If it's something where you just got to see them just to give you some antibiotics or whatever it is, yeah, take my copay and give me antibiotics. And the other thing is, I won't go to the doctor unless I can do it first thing in the morning. As after going outside a couple times at work, I don't want to be seen in public. So, if I have to go to the doctor in person, it'll be first thing in the morning. Only thing they've ever put me on that messed me up is I was in a car accident. It wasn't real bad, but they did put me on this pain medication. I don't know what it was. And it would just confuse you. It's one of those things you're not supposed to drive when you're on it. I didn't. But it would just confuse you. It wouldn't make you lose your mind. You would just be like, I couldn't do basic math. Like, you'd be sitting there going, 5 plus 7. Oh, that's 14, right? Like, you would remember about where it was and that what is an even number, but you couldn't add 5 and 7 together. You would get confused. You would like second guess yourself. And it's just early Alzheimer's, or. Didn't make me feel yucky, just made me question things that shouldn't be questioned. Kind of strange. Well, this thing's not exactly going to be king of the battlefield. But if you're just infantry and you don't have an anti-tank rifle, and this guy doesn't get it all up in your face, you're pretty much invincible. Used to get migraines, made me not able to think, oh yeah, I'd rather have just about anything other than that. I had a headache. When did I have it? The last day of Thanksgiving break, so Sunday. All day long. It wasn't a very heavy one. It was just one that was just always like, and I just couldn't get rid of it. And yeah, I'd rather have pretty much anything other than a headache. Explosive diarrhea. I'd rather have that than a headache. We need to do some panel lining here. Panel exaggerating, I should say. And then we'll be good to go for tonight. I don't get headaches very often now. I used to get them more as a kid. And yeah, you can't think. Am I spending more time than usual on this tank? No, not really. Now we're almost done with it. Just doing two at a time. There's two of them, so. I got no time frame when I got to get them done. I like that. I don't know that I'm going to go back to a game where I'm like, I got to get them done by. Nope. I ain't got to do shit. It's called a hobby. I ain't got to do shit. Pep, pet peeve on the weekends is being rushed. I do not want to be rushed. It's not that I want to take a long time doing something. It's just I don't need to be rushed. I get rushed all the time Monday through Friday. Okay, double check this one. Okay, I think that's it. We're done with all the highlighting. Next time is going to be the paint tools and stuff that's black and so forth on there. Okay, folks, thanks for stopping by, keeping each other entertained, and